It's Mr. Skelcy again in Mr. Skelcy's kitchen and doing science in the kitchen. Kitchen science, science kitchen. Get it? Okay, I think you got it. Okay, this is lesson number 6. Woohoo! So don't forget on Schoolology, a site that the Chippewa Valley District is using to get across to all our young scientists out there. Look for lesson number 6 when you're looking up courses, okay? And guys, don't forget, you also need to check out Miss Smith's music lesson, Miss McElvine's PE lesson, and Miss Schultz's art lesson. And all of our lessons are combined together this week, and we all touch on food. And so check it out. Check out what they've got going on. So we're going to go from check it out to the big shout out. And we're going to start with our first grade. Miss Marola's room is Christian, Adam, Elizabeth, Brooklyn. Hello. Miss Sarvello's room, Brianna, Lillian, Joshua, Jacob. Miss Conrad room, Coria, Julia, Colin, and Nick. Hey, hey. Miss Nicoloy's 4th grade, Eric, Lucas, Marissa, Michelle. Hope you're doing good. Miss Knowles' room, Lucy, Kaylee, Edward, Luke. Hope you guys are hanging in there. Miss Skrupski's room, Tamara, Savannah, Nishan, and Michael. And to everybody else at Fox, hope you're doing good. And I miss all you guys. So this week, we are going to be learning about probably one of my favorite things is food. And food is so essential to us because if you don't eat food, you're not going to live, okay? So you need to have a good diet. You need to have the right amount of food. And so we're going to be talking about 2 things. We're going to talk about something called the food pyramid. And then I'm going to be talking about the food plate. And then I've got a little food activity that you can probably try in your kitchen too, which is always fun to do. So the first thing is our food pyramid. And food pyramids are something that have been around for a long time. And food pyramids are designed or shaped just like a pyramid. And at the biggest part of the pyramid, the base, is where you're going to find your most, the foods that you should have most in your diet. And as the pyramid narrows, at the peak is the very small part, and that's probably the least amount that you should have in your diet, okay? And I've got different samples. So when I looked this up, I was overwhelmed with how many different food pyramids there are, and how many times they've changed. So one of your assignments today is go ahead and go online and check out, just type in food pyramids and look at all the different types of food pyramids. The one I found that I thought really made a lot of sense was one that is a food pyramid that they use in Ireland. And you know, you don't have to just follow what we do here in the United States. If a country's got a great plan, we should go ahead and use it. And when looking at Ireland's food plan, and you'll see a picture of this later, and I'll talk a little more about it, it really shows you that at the very base of our pyramid, we have fruits and vegetables. So here's an example here. Got my broccoli, which doesn't want to cooperate. I got broccoli, I got zucchini, got avocado, which I always call guacamole for some reason. I got peppers, got a banana. Hello, Mr. Banana. Oh, nope, not there. Got an orange and an apple. So this is just some examples of different fruits and vegetables. This is the biggest part of the base. Now the next part of the base is what you would call your breads and your cereals, okay? And I got bread and, cereals, duh. So I'm using Cheerios. I love Cheerios. We're gonna talk a little more about the stuff, the nutrients they put on the side. We go from that to our cheeses. Right here, we got cheese, chocolate milk, which is, I love. Yogurt, okay. Oh, forgot my blueberries. Get over there, blueberries. And then we go from there to our meats and our poultry, and we had salmon the other night, leftover salmon with asparagus, good stuff. And then my daughter, Caitlin, made us some like mango burgers, leftover still. I think that's what we're having tomorrow for dinner. And then nuts, almonds, that falls into the meat group. And then I just want to double check my food pyramid here. And when I look at it at The next would be oils, which is like butter, canola oil for cooking. And then at the end, could be something like sugars, which you'll notice is just a little brownie here. Way over here. So we got our fruits and vegetables at our base. We go to cereals, to dairy, to meat, to a little bit of oil, to very, very, very little bit of sugars. So that's the food pyramid. Now, I want you to take a closer look at this food pyramid. I'll explain it to you. As you can see here in the picture that you're looking at, this is the food pyramid that I was talking about. And again, at the base, you can see vegetables. And the next layer is our cereals and breads and potatoes, pasta, rice, things that are carbohydrates. That goes up to dairy, which is milk, yogurt, and cheese. There's a lot of protein in those things. And then above that is meat, poultry, which is chicken or turkey or whatever, fish, eggs, beans, nuts. Again, a lot of that is protein, which is good for you. And then you got the the second to smallest is our fats, and that's like butter and cooking oil. And then at the very tippy top, the smallest one is the sugars that you would have like in your desserts and ice cream and just in other foods, and sugars that are just like in your fruit juices. And again, the important thing to remember about this pyramid is that everything is in moderation. You don't want to deny yourself some good food, but you don't want to overwhelm it. You don't want to, for example, have pizza every single day. That wouldn't be a healthy diet. You want to have a balanced, healthy diet. You want to use moderation. And if you don't know what the word moderation is, look it up. Okay, now I want to scan down here, or the next picture I'm going to show you is that of the food plate. So I'll explain that next. Now in this example, this picture, and I like this picture for a lot of different reasons. A, it's a photograph, so you can actually see the foods really well in the picture. Next, it's divided up into the portions that we should have. And if you look at this plate, half of the plate is made up of vegetables and fruits, and it's very colorful. And then another portion of the plate is your whole grain food, which is your beans and pasta and bread. And then if you look up in the other part of the plate, you've got your proteins there, which are eggs and fish and dairy and more beans and cheese, and those are in pork. That's protein. You definitely need protein. And if you look up there, your drink, it says water. But again, if you're gonna drink something at dinner time, try to keep to milk or keep to juice or keep to water. You really want to stay away from soda pop as much as you can. Yeah, it's okay to have on occasion. I like to have Coca-Cola when I'm eating my pizza, I won't lie. So that's just me, but I don't have it all the time. So again, look up that word moderation. This is a great picture because it's showing you exactly what we should be having on a daily basis. So again, most of it's fruit and vegetables, and then we go to our grains, and then our meats, and then again water. You should really drink a lot of water every day. And then the next explanation I'm going to give you is with Mr. Body. I'm going to show you exactly how this food thing works. Got about our Star Wars C3. This week is C3PO. Let's see what he has to say.
Have you no sense at all?
No, sometimes I don't have sense at all. Mrs. Skelcy says that to me all the time.
I don't like the look of this.
What? This human body in front of me?
Here we go again?
Yes, here we go again. Mr. Skelcy doing lesson number 6. So here's Mr. Body, and you're probably saying, what the heck does this have to do with food? Well, earlier I started off the lesson saying how important it is, because if we don't eat food, we would starve to death. And food allows our body to stay alive. All right. Where does the whole process of eating begin? Some people may say, oh, it starts with your teeth. Some people may say it starts with your tongue. Some people may say, oh no, it's your tongue and your teeth, it's your whole mouth. But like I always say, I think eating really starts with your brain, because you have to make decisions. And we make our decisions through thought. And you're going to use your other senses too. If you smell something really good with your nose, you may say, wow, that's something I want to eat. Like maybe chocolate chip cookies. You smell baking in the oven. Or if you hear like something frying, like a hamburger in a pan, you might hear that, and that noise may sound good to you too. So using our senses helps us make the decisions of what we want to eat. And then at that point, we do put the food in our mouth, we chew it up, and it goes to our tongue. Now our tongue helps push that food back, but it also helps us with taste, which is huge. That's a big important thing for us. So on the tip, we have sweetness on the tip of your tongue, and then on your sides, you've got bitterness and sour back here, and then way in the back of your tongue is where you start to taste salty things like chips and peanuts, popcorn, that type of thing. And then at that point, you swallow. Now you've got two tubes. You've got your esophagus, where you are breathing, that's connected to your lungs, and then you got your food tube, which actually runs behind it. And the food tube is connected to the stomach. So we're going to take some of Mr. Body apart here. Okay. And that food tube runs back in here. That's the liver. Taking that out. And now we can really see the stomach. And that tube is connected to the stomach. Now once the food is in there, it sits like in this acid. There's a very powerful acid in your stomach, and it helps break that food down. And once it goes into there, it goes into our small intestine, and it travels and travels and travels. And in the small intestine, that's where the food is breaking down even more. And a lot of the moisture is taken out. It doesn't matter if it's liquid, that you're drinking milk, water, juice, eating food. It's all going through the same place. And then those nutrients are broken down on a very small molecular level and sent out into our bloodstream in order for our blood to be able to get oxygen and keep our body alive, and to help our cells grow and get the nutrients and the vitamins and everything that we need from our food. It's crazy how this all works, okay? Now, from the stomach, like I said, it goes to the small intestine, and then into the large intestine, and then the large intestine is the last spot for your food, and then it kind of is like poop. There it is. That's kind of what we do. We get rid of it when our body has used up everything. Okay? Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, Mr. Skelcy. Okay. So that's the whole process of a digestion. And as you grow, you want to have a good diet. You want to have a varied diet. And the types of foods that you eat really make you, it's going to keep you healthy. So you got to remember, where does all this food come from? It starts at the farm. It's grown by farmers. Could be cattle, could be livestock, it could be a plant, vegetables, watermelons, whatever. And then it goes from the farm and it travels to the store. And then from the store, you can buy it from there. So there's a whole nother process, a whole nother science of transporting our food from farm to the tables that we sit at, to our kitchens where we cook it at. So. Hey, Mr. Bananas, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, guess what? What? Do you hear somebody coming? I don't hear anybody coming. I do. Mr. Factoid, Mr. Factoid, Mr. Factoid. Social distancing.
Mr. Factoid has arrived.
He's a little full of himself. Keep 6 feet away from me, weirdo. What's the fact today, Mr. Factoid?
The average human produces 25,000 quarts of saliva in a lifetime.
That's disgusting.
That's enough to fill 2 swimming pools.
Hey, I wouldn't go swimming in that pool. Ugh. Yeah, I guess so, Mr. Bananas. That sounds kind of gross. But saliva is very important because it helps break down food for us. So, hey, get out of here. Okay, bye-bye. All right, man, we have gone over a lot of stuff about food. And, hey there, JJ. Hey, JJ, how you doing? I'm doing good, Mr. Skelcy. Hey, I got to tell you something. What do you got to tell me? It's a secret. It's a secret? Yeah, let me whisper it in here. Okay. What? No way. Okay. Hey, are you sure? I'm sure, Mr. Skelcy. Okay, see you later, JJ. Bye-bye. Okay, so here's the deal. JJ here is like, hey, I talked to Mrs. Skelcy, and she said, you need to tell Mr. Skelcy, like, one of the most important things about food is that we get energy from it. And that is how we stay alive. And so, yes, food gives us energy. and it gives us energy to do a lot of different things, and exercising and staying healthy is a big part of that. So yes, food is energy for us. We get our calories from there. Okay, now on to our 2 food activities. All right, our first food activity is working with salt. And oh, here's our salt right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little static electricity experiment. Now you can use salt, which I'm doing today. You could even try using crushed up cereal. That works. Even little ripped up little pieces of paper. But since we're doing food today, we're going to use salt. And yes, salt helps flavor our food. You can eat it, just don't want to eat a lot of it. So I'm going to pour a little salt on this red paper so it shows up. Okay. And I'm going to take a balloon. Aha! Ah! Oh, there's our balloon. Okay. That's kind of crazy. And hey, Tom, can you give me a hand? Yeah, I can give you a hand, Mr.Skelcy. How you doing? Great. Okay, so I need to charge this balloon up. And since you're a puppet, I'm a puppet. Yeah, you're a puppet. Didn't know that. Okay, so I need you to help charge this balloon up. Okay, there you go. Charging the balloon. Charging the balloon. Charging the balloon. Okay, hopefully this works. Now, if it does work, we should be able to see and hear the salt be attracted to the balloon. Okay, let's give this a try here. Okay, see you later. Okay, hopefully that's it. Let's see what happens here. Oh, you can hear it. When I can see it, it's jumping up to the balloon there. And you can see the salt got attached to the balloon. So it's a cool little static electricity. Why does this happen? Well, there was way too many of a positive charge or a negative charge, and this wants to be attracted to something to even out those charges, and it was attracted to the salt, and you could hear it move and see it move. Cool, quick little food experiment. All right, our next food experiment is about density, and we're going to use different things that I got out of my pantry. First thing is I'm going to use this skinny little glass, and then I'm going to take some syrup, and I'm going to pour some syrup into the bottom of the glass. Now, syrup is really dense, okay? Density, so what does that mean? It means those molecules are maybe a little bigger and more packed together, okay? So it would sit on the bottom. Now the next thing I'm going to add to it is my oil, which I got to get out of the pantry. All right, through the magic of video editing, the oil is now in my hand. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to pour some oil on top of the vinegar really slow. Okay, I'm going to wait. And you can see the oil's rather clear, and it sits on top of the syrup, which is brown. Now the next thing I'm going to add is water. Just going to pour some water in the cup. Okay, now I'm going to add some food coloring. I'm going to go over here real quick, grab some food coloring. Okay, so I just added some blue food coloring to the water. I'm going to pour this in. I'm going to give it a minute. All right, this is pretty cool. Where the oil was sitting on top of the syrup, when I poured the water in, it actually pushed the oil to the top, because water is denser than oil, and oil is less dense than water. So you've got your 3 layers. You've got the oil, you've got the colored water, and you got syrup down there. So let's see if I add just a drop of food coloring in there, see if I can get it to work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's what science is about. All right, and that little red dot sitting right in there, oop, just blooped on down to the bottom. I'm going to add a bigger glob to it, see what happens. Cool. And what's happening is it's just those or the food coloring globules are just sitting on that last layer of oil right there, not really going into that. Now, what would happen if I stir this up? I don't know. That's what science is about. Let's see what happens if I stir this up. Oop, that spoon is way too big. I'm just going to switch it. What's going to happen? Is it going to turn into some big globule mess here? Well, one thing I noticed is that the oil has now stayed on top, but you'll notice that the water and it looks like the syrup have probably mixed together, and the water probably helped break down some of that sugar in the syrup. So, cool little experiment. You don't want to drink this, but it's definitely something that you can try in your kitchen. All right, guys, so you guys learned a lot about food today and how important it is for us. And you know, food science is a huge, huge deal. It's, you know, you could be a food scientist someday. Now, so this Sunday is Mother's Day. So the people that I want to thank, I think everyone should thank always, is their moms. So make sure that on this Sunday, May 10th, on Mother's Day, that you say thank you, because moms are heroes by themselves. So, and even if it isn't Mother's Day, you should, that's going to be the person that we're thanking this week, is our moms, because they do so much for us. So I miss you guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you next week.